everyone, it's Mandy again. I'm here today to do my very first book haul. These are all the books I've collected over the last 3 to 4 weeks-ish. And some of them I've already read through, some of them I'm in the middle of, and most of them are in genres that I'm not used to buying. So it's been really exciting to start getting into reading a whole bunch of new types of things. So let's get started because there's quite a few of them. The first book is called The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up by Marie Kondo. Now, I've actually listened to this on audiobook already several months ago, and I did almost everything she said in the book, went through and pretty much organized my entire home and life, and it was life-changing. So if you have been thinking about getting this book or have not heard about it yet, I would definitely look into it. It's really, really beautiful writing, very simple. And it is life-changing. So I decided to pick up the hard copy because there's quite a few things that I wanted to go back to on a regular basis, and with an audiobook that's not quite as easy. So I got this one and I've been going through and just marking little reminders and things like that about it. So yeah, if you haven't checked this book out, I would definitely go pick it up. It's a really quick, easy read. I personally enjoyed the audiobook quite a bit just because I felt like the voice of the person who was reading it was very relatable, and I just love the way that they got across some of the concepts. So either the hard copy or the audiobook, you can't really go wrong with it. The second book that I got is Tiny Buddha's Guide to Loving Yourself, 40 Ways to Transform Your Inner Critic and Your Life. I'm a huge fan of physically small books like this because I like to usually keep one or two of them in my purse at all times just to browse through. Ones like this that are, 40 ways or 30 ways or things like that are really fun because you don't have to sit down and read it all at once. And like I said, these Tiny Buddha books are a lot of fun. I'm a big fan of them. So I picked up this one the other day when I was in Barnes & Noble as it was on their clearance or their sale rack. I'm not sure which one it is. But yeah, I'm excited to go through it. I'm excited to just have this added to my collection. The third book is Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's the version that's specifically for women. Now, I read, it's by Kristine Carlson. I read the original version many, many years ago, probably when I was in high school. My aunt had suggested it to me, and I really loved it. It's been so long that I can't exactly remember the content, so when I saw this I was like, oh yeah, I remember loving that, and it was the woman's version, so I figured might as well pick it up and run through it. I haven't started it yet, but I have a feeling this one will be one of the ones I read this week. So the fourth book is The Fifth Wave by Yancey. Now, I have seen a lot of booktubers posting about the trailer that just came out for the movie that's being based on this book, and I wasn't really, I hadn't been introduced to booktube, I guess, when this book first came out, so I'm not familiar with anything about it, but I definitely am a huge fan of reading books before I watch movies, so I decided I better pick it up and have that be one of my reads this winter. Now, the fifth book is one I'm super excited to read. It's probably the next one on my list to get started, and it's Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children. I, of course, heard about this from Jessie the Reader and have been really excited to get into this series. I would like to, get through the 3 books. The third one, I believe, is coming out at the end of this month. I would like to get through them in the next couple of months. They feel like books that would really suit reading through the winter. So I feel like these books are quite well known. I don't know a whole lot about them other than what I've read on the back. So it's very fresh and new material for me, so I'm excited to get started on that as well. The sixth book is No Mud, No Lotus by Thich Hanh. Now, I have a couple of his books. I am a huge fan of the simplicity of his writing. This book is specifically on the art of transforming suffering, and it's very small, very tiny read. I'm a big fan of these small books written by Buddhists because they're very transforming. They're kind of like a little vacation for my brain. Whenever I need to, I'll sit down and fly through one of these and just kind of reset everything. So I'm excited to have this one in my collection for my brain vacation books. The seventh book is Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. I see this one kicking around everywhere. Lots of people have reviewed it. Lots of people say amazing things about it. I am about the third the way through it right now, and I'm really loving it so far. So I'm hoping to have this one done in the next week or two. And yeah, that's about it on that one. I'll probably be doing a review on this one once I'm finished. The 8th book is called How to Be Parisian Wherever You Are. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. It's Love, Style, and Bad Habits. It's written by Berest, Audrey Diwan, Caroline de Maigret, and Sophie Moss. Now, I'm super excited to read this one. This is also just kind of a light read. Not necessarily one you would sit down and read all the way through. Just kind of pick up here and there. I keep it kicking around my nightstand and my coffee table and just pick it up randomly throughout the day. I'm about a fourth the way through, but I've actually skipped through and read different chapters and things like that. So far, it's just really relatable as a woman. It really relates to the struggle that we go through with fashion and what things need to look like, and just the art of letting all of that go and being who we are. So it's fun. It's got some attitude. If they were to come out with like another book, these authors or anything like that in this same category or that kind of tied into this book, I would definitely pick it up just because it's so much fun. The 9th book is Room by Emma Donoghue. Now this one is also one that's coming out in a movie, which is the reason I picked it up. It's different than what I normally read. I have a really hard time with thrillers and things like that. I don't know that this one is necessarily considered a thriller, but it is mystery, very intense, and it involves a child, which as a mom, things like that usually are very heartbreaking for me, and I have a hard time watching or reading. But I decided that this one might be worth it just based on the reviews and everything that I've seen on BookTube as well. So I picked it up. It shouldn't be too long of a read. And like I said, I like to read the books before the movies, and this is a movie that I'd most likely be watching eventually. So I'm excited to get that one done before the movie comes out. The 10th book is Since You've Been Gone by Morgan Matson. This one is also one I've heard a lot of reviews about. I don't think I've read very many contemporaries before, so I am excited to get into this. Based on reviews I've seen on BookTube, the main character in this book struggles with having to go out and do a lot of these tasks that are left to her, and they're very much out of her comfort zone because she is an introvert, which is something I struggle with, and I know a lot of booktubers do as well, which I can see why everybody likes it so much. I'm excited to read through this and see what all the fuss is about. The 11th book, and this is actually a trilogy of books combined into one, I found at Target. Also a contemporary set of books that I've been hearing a lot about called The Summer I Turned Pretty. This has all 3 of the books, including It's Not Summer Without You and We'll Always Have Summer. I don't know that I'll be reading this right away, but I saw it was a good deal. I decided to pick it up, and maybe when I'm hitting into next summer, I will have the spark to pick this up and read through it because I've heard it's a lot of fun. I've also haven't read any of Jenny Han's works yet, and I'm not sure if I want this one to be the first one of her books that I read, so I will probably put it on hold for a little while. If you have any recommendations on what would be the best one of Jenny Han's books to get started on, yeah, comment down below and let me know. The last book that I picked up, I have already finished reading, and it is The Red Queen. Of course, I couldn't put this down when I started it. I can totally see what all the fuss is about here on BookTube, and I am dying waiting for the second one to come out along with everybody else. So this was so much fun to read, and I will most likely be putting a full book review up on this one as well. So that is the end of my book haul. So if you have read any of these books, feel free to comment down below. Let me know what you think. Any suggestions on new books that fit into any of these categories. I'm always happy to find new books to add to my collection. So if you guys haven't subscribed yet, feel free to subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thanks!